Hello guys, once again welcome back to the Deepcodr. In this video we'll see how to deploy a Django application on Kubernetes. So without wasting much time, let's get started. Okay, so let's go to the editor and create a virtual environment. Okay, now that it's created, let's activate it with source activate. Great. Now let's install the required packages. So first we will install Django. Once that is installed, let's create a Django project with the Django admin, start project, and the name of the project. And that should start creating the project. Great. And we have the project ready. So let's go to the project directory. And here we have manage.py. So let's start the Python server. Great. So let's copy the URL and hit the URL in the browser. Good, that's good. So we have the Django installation successful. Let's stop the server and let's create some views files so that we will have a custom response and request in the application. Let's create a views.file, and inside this file we will add some custom functions so that it will give the custom response for the custom URL. So let's add something like hello. It will take the GET request and return a simple response as hello world. So let's add something like HTTP response, and then we will add something like hello world or something like hello world from Django server. That's it. Otherwise we will give some custom error response as request not found or something. Let's give sorry not found. Now let's add this view to the urls.py file. So let's first import the views.py from our Django Hello World project. Okay, now let's add some custom path like hello or something, and let's call the function from the views.py. That's it, and we got our server started. So let's hit the hello. And we got the response. That's it. So our application is ready. So you can add more functionalities or you can use your custom application for deploying on Kubernetes. Now before start deploying application to the Kubernetes, let's first create a requirements.txt from our pip list. So we'll freeze the modules list to the requirements.txt. Okay, we got the file ready. So now let's update the requirements for Django, which will support the lesser version than the latest one, because the image provided by the Docker for the Python is 3.9 and currently we are using 3.12. So we have updated the requirements.txt. Now let's create a new file for deployment to the Docker. Let's provide the base image as Python 3.9.19, which is the latest image provided by the Docker. Let's create the new directory for our project. Let's keep the directory as working directory. Now let's copy the files to the working directory, and then we will now let's install the required modules from the requirements.txt. So we will add the command pip install -r and our file name. Okay, and then we will add the command to start the server. As we are deploying the sample application, we will directly start the server, but if you are using the database and other modules, then do add the command for making migration and also for migrating the tables and the models. So as though we are starting the server to the 8000, let's expose the port 8000. And that's it, our Docker file is ready. So now let's go to the terminal and build the image from the Docker file. Let's first deactivate the virtual environment, and then we will let's check whether the Docker server is running. Okay, our server is running. Now let's create a image from the Docker file. So here I am adding my repository name as Deepcodr, and then after the slash I am mentioning the name of the image. I have not specified any tags, so it will be taken as latest. Okay, so our image is ready to use. Let's check the image by running it on a container. Let's spin up a new container. On the 8000 port, and let's map it to our host port. Okay, we have got the container running. Let's check whether the container is created or not. Okay, as we can see, we have got the container running from the image we have mentioned. Now let's go to the browser and check whether we have got the application running or not. Let's just close this one and let's hit the URL again. Oops, so we have to mention hello. That's it. We have got the image running, so image has been built successfully. Now let's create a YAML file for deploying our application to the Kubernetes. Before that, let's kill the container which is already running by using ID of the container. Now before creating a YAML file, let's view the image. So we have the latest image here. Let's push it to the Docker Hub so that we can use it with the YAML file. So we will just use docker push image name to push the image. Okay, so it is pushing the image to the Docker Hub. Let's wait for it to complete. Okay, seems like it has pushed to the Docker Hub. Let's check in the Docker Hub. Okay, we have got our image in the Docker Hub. We can now use it with the Kubernetes. Let's create a new file for deploying the application to the Kubernetes. So we'll give it a name .yaml. Let's add the API version. So we'll add both the service and deployment configuration in the same file. So let's provide the configuration for the service. Let's add metadata labels for the app as Django Hello World. Okay, now let's specify which app to be used. Django Hello World. Now let's add the type of the deployment, which will be load balancer. Now let's add the ports. The port will be 8000 and the target port will be also 8000. Now let's add the configuration for the deployment. Make sure you add these 3 hyphens. Okay, so we have provided the API version as app/v1. Let's add the name of the application as Django Hello World. Let's provide the specification for the deployment. So the replicas we will mention as 1. You can mention them as per your requirement. Let's add the kind, that is deployment. Okay, let's add the selector for the application. We'll add labels to be matched, which will be app Django Hello World once again. Now let's add the template configuration. Let's add the metadata. Okay, now let's specify the configuration for the containers. The name for the container, which will be Django Hello World. Let's specify the image which is to be used, which will be the image we have created earlier. Okay, let's specify the ports for the container. Container port will be 8000. Let's specify the image pool policy, which is always you can mention if not present, and that's it. Our deployment configuration is ready. We are ready to apply it to the Kubernetes cluster. Let's apply the configuration with Kubectl. Okay, let's press enter, and we have got the service and deployment created. Let's view the service. Yes, it is created. Let's check the pods. Yes, we have got the one pod which is status having as running. Now let's hit the URL, and we have got the response. So our deployment is successful. We have successfully deployed the Django application in Kubernetes. If you want to deploy the React or Node.js application in the Kubernetes, you can view my other two videos. Till then, keep coding.